Hi everybody, Brittany here. I am back with my next review. This one is Young Rich Widows. It is written by 4 different authors: Kimberly, Belle, Layne Fargo, or Layne Fargo, not sure, Cate, Holahan, and Vanessa, Lillie. This was probably one of the most fun books that I have read, not only this year, but in a while, which is interesting because the premise of the book is not necessarily very lighthearted and fun. It has a hitman, it has murder, it has financial crimes and the mob and women trying to kind of save their butts. They don't get murdered. But that being said, the way that it's written is extremely entertaining and funny. This book is set in the 1980s in Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island. That also I found really enjoyable. I used to live in Rhode Island for a little while, so there are references in this book to The Hill, which is a neighborhood in Providence that is very Italian and sort of old school. And then it has things about, you know, like the East Side, which is where Brown is, and a lot of more affluent families live. So I thought that was really entertaining, that whoever wrote this book definitely knew a thing or two about Rhode Island. But also, I don't know, I just enjoy when there's references to things that are a little bit closer to home. The book itself is not only written by 4 different authors, but it has 4 different points of view. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that each one of these authors wrote a different character's perspective. So the writing style for different characters just does vary just a little bit. That being said, all 4 of them were enjoyable. Basically, the 4 main characters are Justine, Camille, Meredith, and Crystal. All of them are very different, very unique. Just to kind of give you like a rundown, it's kind of written here on the back of the book. Justine is a former fashion model adjusting to suburban life. Camille is a beautiful young second wife whom some suspect is a gold digger. Meredith is a stripper who was in a relationship with the firm's only female partner, and Crystal is a founding partner's wife committed to the firm being a legacy for her sons. So each one of these women are very different. Crystal, I think, is like the older kind of matriarch of the 4. She, again, is a founding partner's wife. She's been there since the start. She was born and raised in Providence. She knows what's up. She knows everything about the East Side and the Hill and things like that, and has a little bit of a mob connection. Meredith is the one who is a stripper and is in a relationship with the only female partner. She is kind of a little bit more rough and tumble. She is also a little bit younger than Crystal. Camille is the younger kind of quote-unquote gold digger. She is married to one of the older partners who is also a founding member, but she's also the second wife. So the other wives don't necessarily take her as seriously, and she has a little bit of a history as far as how she's gotten to where she is and things like that. And then Justine, she's the new girl, so her partner was the most recent addition to the firm, and they don't really know her very well. And she also just is kind of living in her own little bubble because she is new to the area and she just had a kid and such and such. This book was just so entertaining. The switching of the perspectives was really nice because obviously each character was very unique, but there's just like so much going on. It never got boring. It picked up pretty quick. I think the very beginning of the book is how the partners die. Not to spoiler alert or anything, but basically all 4 of the main partners at the law firm, they die in the very first chapter. And so this is kind of the fallout, where they were working on different projects and they had different connections and things like that. It was just a really good book. It was kind of a fun, light-hearted sort of true crime-esque, if that makes sense. So if you're into like the mysteries and the true crimes and the thrillers, but you don't necessarily want something with dark undertones and you want something a little bit lighter, this is a good place to go. Even if you've never been to Providence, even if you don't like the 80s, it was entertaining. It was very fun, to say the least. So that is the end of my catch-up. Now we are up to speed on what I'm currently reading, or what I'm currently finishing up. And our next book is going to be 14 Days. I just finished this one a few days ago. It was wonderful. It was very, very good. It is a pandemic book, which is kind of a new genre or a new literary device, I guess you could say. It was very entertaining. One of the coolest things about this book is it is written by 34 different authors. 34, and they're all listed on the front of the book, kind of along the edges. And some of the authors are ones that I know and that I've read other things from or other works from them, and some of them are ones that I've never heard of. One of the ones that I'm sure everybody knows is R.L. Stine. That's the author of Goosebumps. He's one of the people. So that was kind of interesting to kind of meet new authors that I didn't know, but also try and kind of snuff out who's who. R.L. Stine specifically, when I was reading this book, I was trying to find, what part did he write? And there was 2 parts that I was suspecting that he wrote. And there was only the one, but I thought that was interesting that I was able to kind of know what his writing style and his, preferences are and kind of find him amongst all of the other authors. And then at the back of the book, it does tell you who wrote what. So that's going to be my next review. I did enjoy it, but I'll give you guys more details on that in my next video. If you have read 14 Days or if you have read Young Rich Widows, let me know your thoughts and feelings. Am I crazy? Am I spot on? Alrighty, see you guys next week.